I thought I was all prepared for this until Denny reminded me of a beating that he gave me here about 20 years ago in the Final Four right here in Springfield. So I'll try to regroup and do from that. But, in the spring of 1973, I walked in a gym in Winfield, Missouri. There was a gentleman who had 40 years. It was his 40th year of being a superintendent. He had hired people in the 30s. He was reading a handwritten letter that I had written to him a week earlier asking for a job. And he hired all the teachers. So it's Saturday morning in the spring, I go in and sit down, wait for my turn, and gets up, calls me in, he says, pulls out the piece of paper that he's looking at, and he says, this looks pretty good. And he said, I really just have one question. He said, once the game starts, and you're coaching, he says, do you think that you can act like a civilized human being? I said, I don't know, I've never done this before. I said, I'll certainly try. But I thought many times what he would think now, so all these years later. He gave me a job back at that time. He said, come back in August, first day of school, you sign your contract. We'll give you keys. A little bit different then. As Jay knows, a little bit different at that time. Give me a contract for money, and I'm walking out the door, and he said, oh, by the way, he said, you're also the athletic director. And the athletic department's $1,000 in the red, and you don't get paid until the athletic department gets in the black. I can tell you how far a volleyball and basketball will go, because we didn't buy one for about 3 years. We finally got there. But got Winfield off, I thought, to a good start. We was able to win a district championship there and build a good program. And they was successful many years after I left. And then returned to Wright City, as Ryan said. Didn't have to build anything in Wright City. 10 years before I got there, they'd won a state championship. They had finished second in the state. They'd won 4 or 5 districts during that time and had a lot of good players. So that was just about kind of maintaining, I thought, more than anything else. And I think we was able to do that. We won 5 more districts there. We won got a chance to go to the Final Four, and had the opportunity there to coach my 2 sons. From Wright City had a senior class, or the high school enrollment was 300. I then left to go to Fort Zumwalt North, which is in St. Charles County, O'Fallon, Missouri. So I went from a high school of 300 to 3 lunch shifts of 600. So it was a little bit of a change. Luckily, I was having cafeteria duty, and the football coach came over and saved me. He said, it's not going to be as bad as you think. But besides that, North had 21 straight losing seasons. My first year there, we extended that to 22. We kept that streak going. And we didn't want to break anything early. So we kept that going. And but then we had some good years. We had a lot of success, and at the end, coached a lot of young players, and 2 years after I left, they won their first district, so we feel very good about that too. So I think that was all good. So I had 3 very different schools, 3 very different communities, and one common thing. They had a bunch of young kids that wanted to play basketball. Can't think of anything more than a coach can ask than kids that want to do that. They're great players. I hope that they all feel a part of this, as I do my longtime friend and assistant, Dale Kelly, who was with me at 2 schools. I'm very pleased and very honored to be a part of this. Thank you.